Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Devi Jade, and on every full moon and new moon and different Sabbats or holidays, special holidays, I do a video for you. At the time, I don't prepare for it. I gather up whatever little things that I need to gather, and I come very spontaneously to tell you and share with you what the message is that's coming through me to you. So I also have a special video that's going to come after this on the spring equinox. You'll like that one. It's completely different than I've ever done. That was actually the one I channeled the other day, and I realized that, oh boy, maybe I better go back to what I normally am channeling, because this moon is really a strong moon to prepare us for the new birth. And what it is, it's about removing, again, releasing paradigms or things, patterns that we do that we consistently do. And that pattern is about the hider that's in us. And I almost feel like it's a little person that's hiding behind the chair and peeking around. You know how little kids will do that, and they don't think you're seeing them and you're seeing them. Or I'll tell you, my kitty does that too. Cats are famous for that, you know, where they look like this and they think that you don't see them, or they hide under the curtains, only the front part of them with everything else out. So I went back again, and I felt that this is the most important thing for us to do this time. And what we're going to do is we're going to, if you have these ingredients, which is of course your candle, you know, your little candle. I want white this time, and the reason I want white is because it's the essence, just like the dark black candles. It's absorbing, but it's also illuminating. So I want that candle for you, the little tiny chime candle. And then I've already started setting this up. You know, I like to show you guys tiny little altars that'll be good. And this one's real teeny. I've just got this candle these are actually for tall candles, but I put the tiny little carrier for this size candle. I'm using that. And then I've just got little white stones and 3 little pink stones. Now, you don't have to run to the store and get all this stuff, okay? I'm just showing you on different videos what you can do, because typically we have things right around our house that we can gather that will go with the energies of the candle during the new moons and the full moons. Okay, so anyway, I've got that. And then what I've done is, I'm a feather collector. There he goes, Mr. McTavish. He's looking for a spot there. Okay, and I have a place that I like to go where the geese are, and when they like fluff their feathers out or leave them, then I pick them up. But these, I also have some where the turkey vultures are, and they would drop their feathers. And when they drop their feathers, I'd go, this was like back in the fall, I'd go and pick them up. So I have a lot of those, and I've got these 3 here. You know, now you can pick up turkey vulture, or you can pick up, you know, goose feathers, or maybe if you're lucky, you'll find a little tiny dove feather. That's a representation of Mother Mary. But these are for transformation and change. And of course, they represent, you know, they do represent releasing or death. It's not negative energy. It's a releasing energy. And in other countries, they're considered a very high energy, and they are, because they fly very, very high. And so I've chosen these 3. I've got bigger ones as well, but I thought I would put these, I'm going to put these down around the bottom of this. So it's going to cover it, and then that way it's indicative of the transformation. And the saying that you've heard, today is a good day to die, they don't mean that literally. They mean that there's parts of us that need to be released. And again, I'm going to wrap that around to, it's the hider. So what happened is if you allow yourself, things will come up. And if you're very astute and aware, always watching yourself, but watching what your actions are, or if you start getting a little bit anxious when certain things come up, that's where the little hider is saying, oops, you saw me. Okay. And so for me, that did come up. And even when we're walking a high spiritual path, always little fragments of the past will float up. And so I'm going to take this particular candle and I'm going to put my favorite, like I tell you guys this every time, make sure you get some really good frankincense, because it's such a high vibration that it calls in the angels, and it calls in, you know, energies that are really that high vibration to help us. And then when you do that, remember, you can, you know, kind of waft it in, like if you put it over your face and breathe it in, it goes all the way into your energy anyway. And then I'm gonna actually add this other one. This is called Inner Child. So with the products that I get, and it's just for that little person inside, the one that's been the hider. And this is almost empty on this one. Oh, I'll get a little bit out of there maybe. So, okay, so I got a little, beat that thing. And what's ever left of that. And then I'm going to rub that on there. Now this is what is going to be different, okay? So make sure that you watch very carefully. I'm going to invert the candle. I'm not going to cut the top off or anything, but I'm just simply going to invert it first. And why am I doing that? Because when I turn it back over and I light it, I want what I want to go into the ground, okay? So again, you take the candle, and before you apply the oil, you invert it. So now I'm going to take it and I'm going to rub it like I do. These are the tiny little ones. And then I'm going to push it through. And I took a big breath because I needed to do that. I completely trust and release this part of myself that I no longer need. I completely release this little hider in me that is so afraid. I completely release everything that's attached, all of the sorrows, the fears, the shame, and the despair. So be it. Now in this particular time, I'm going to blow on it. And then I'm going to put it to my third eye. And then I'm going to turn it right side up, okay? Now I'm going to put it into this place, okay? Real careful like this. And it's ready to go, all right? So on the full moon, and the times will be, you know, look below and you'll see where the times are. Look in your own time zone. Be careful, because some of the time zones say different than other time zones. I like to go to Farmer's Almanac or Moon Giant, because different places say it differently. Those two are, you know, you can always rely on them for good information. Now, I do have this little thing. It's called a fiery wall of protection. So if you want some extra protection, always ask Michael, but I'm just going to add that on there on my hands as an after thing, after what I just did. And just make sure that it's getting hot on there, okay? And then I'm just going to put my hands kind of in a cup with like as if I'm, and I am, okay, blessing this space, okay? Because remember now, I've got to, with this, I'm going to have the feathers around the bottom. They're just going to be around here, so that's going to hold that. And I'm just going to hold it. It's not about this, you don't have to have symbols. This is your own energy that you're putting with the candle. Remember, the candle is covering all four aspects, okay? The candle itself is representing earth, okay? And when we light the candle and the smoke goes up and you're seeing that, that is the air. And then of course the light is the fire. And then the water is the energy of us, because we're made up of so much water. And we're putting a lot of emotion in it. Okay, so you don't have to dip it in water or anything, you know. Okay, so now this is all ready. Remember, when I'm doing this particular candle, it's for all of you. So I prepared it, and when I burn it, they burn pretty fast. They've been getting a lot faster. When we're doing release work, the candle might burn a little slower. Mine burn, for myself, let's just say, they usually burn in anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, every once in a while 40, but hardly ever. But this particular candle is meant to burn, I guess, in about 2 hours. It's never burned that long for me, but I've asked different people, that all of you that are practicing this, it takes about 2 hours. That might be number one, because maybe you're not really being with the candle and you need to be with that flame and watch the flame and just kind of close your eyes and be with it, and just, you know, and then if you open your eyes again, but then close your eyes and talk out loud to your deities. These are the things I really want to release. I want to be able to, you know, release hiding from people, release hiding in regard to the talents I have, or feeling like I have to be good enough, or I want to release, you know, the sadness of my past, you know, and maybe I don't even know what all of my pasts are. I want to release, you know, the things I'm holding on to, and I'm talking about, I'd like to release, you know, just feeling bad about not getting a job. It can be as simple as that. Or I want to release, you know, I'm still holding on to these relationships that I don't know why that ever happened. You might be, then that isn't just, you know, two people that are partnering up. I'm talking about any kind of relationships, whether it's your family, your friends, you know, work colleagues or whatever. I'd really like to release the anger that I have, that I'm still holding, that I didn't get that job, or I lost my job, or, you know, this, and this is bothering me, or I've still got these health issues. Those are all releasing. How does that have anything to do with hiding? Because when you go to get back into that, sometimes we feel like, oh, we've risen above it, and then we get all anxious again, and we get all fearful, and we wonder. That's not the same thing as going out and just doing something, and we have a little bit of like excitement. This is like, oh my gosh, I'm frozen in fear. Oh, I'm sweating. Okay, and there's been a couple times when I've faced some deep fears and I was sweating. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I knew that that was being released. And when we release it, what it does is it creates all of this space for us so that something better can come in, unless we want to go through the same lesson again. And I really would like us to move forward. So that's the candle. It's a really good time for us to come out, stop hiding. You know, whether we're hiding in our voices, whether we're hiding from ourselves, whether we're, you know, it's not about lying. We're aware of that. This is the real subtle things that we do. So if you don't know what it is, that's why I gave you a little bit of, you know, different things you could say. I greatly appreciate that this came up, because I found it to be very strange that I did this next one that you're going to love. It's a surprise. And it's so different than anything I've ever done when I've done the videos. And I thought, oh, by the next day, I'm like, I think I was hiding. Because this is a bit of a tough one for me sometimes too, because I'm getting to the subtle of the subtle of the subtle things now after this many years. I greatly thank you so much for coming to the channel. Please do share this, and definitely hit my subscribe button and hit the like button and all of that, because it does help me be able to get more out for you. Take care and have a wonderful full moon and a happy spring equinox, and I'll see you the next time. Thank you so much.